Hey y'all. So I was on a call today and I was reminded that I have a story to tell. And if I want to be in front of my company, I'm going to have to show you who I am. So, whatever, here I am. I am in the car. Yes, I have 4 kids. They're playing the copycat game. And I have food. So, if you know, you know. I have to hide out in order to get a moment's peace. All right, so here you go. My name is Geneva. I'm a mother of 4. I started off as a chef, not just any chef. I was bad in these streets. I did culinary competitions. I did chocolate sculpting, sugar sculpting. I pretty much stayed in the pastry arts section. While my brother, he's a cook, but together we are just insane. At one point, we dominated Bridge Street when it first opened. Almost every restaurant there carried one of my desserts, and my brother worked at them. We were killing it, you know. We started a culinary agency, and we had at one point almost 300 people working for us, bartenders, servers, and cooks. We worked for the Space and Rocket Center, amongst other places. We got to feed President Obama, astronauts. We were bad in these streets. Like, we did our thing. Um, we worked at it and we kicked butt for a while until the recession hit. The recession hit, they wanted us to do the exact same thing we were doing, but for a lot less. And my brother and I, we couldn't do it. We really couldn't do it. So we just went back into working in restaurants, creating menus for restaurants, and just doing our thing. I think we both got sick of cursing people out. If you worked in the restaurant business, you know it turns you into somebody who is not truly who you are. I'm talking about fighting, cursing, yelling, screaming on the daily. If you were to walk into a kitchen where my brother and I are cooking, you would think we hated each other. When in reality, that's my best friend. But you would think that we just hated each other, the way we talk to each other, the way we talk to everybody. But I think we both got sick of babysitting. Um, so my husband retired me, and I had the 4 kids then, and I was homeschooling and doing what I needed to do with my kids. Um, my brother, he went off, he still cooked, but then he switched careers to insurance adjusting. He was doing really well, so he told me that I should do the same. So I said, okay, cool. I went and I started reading up about it. I started hopping on roofs to see if I can do it and figured out if it was for me. I was taking a test, doing all of that. At that time, I read or I heard about needing 7 forms of income in order to have that financial freedom. Well, at that time, we only had one. So if anything were to happen to my family, we would be screwed. So I was like, we can't do that. So I went out that week after hearing about it and created 5 extra forms of income. Then, of course, I started piling it on thick. So I said, my mission is to make sure this family is good on this end. My husband had everything else covered. I just needed to make sure if anything were to happen, we'll be okay. I can catch us on the back end. So around that time, my son, the pandemic hit. And my son, he was 7, I believe. And he used to work with my sister at the Children's Business Fair. And he used to sell as a vendor his gummy bears. And he wanted to sell, but of course, everything was shut down. So I decided to make him a web page and said, okay, you can give it to your friends and family and they could buy something and you can send it to them and we can call it a day. I wasn't really too into doing anything else with it, over it. So he did, and he went viral. So then my husband, my brother and I started working with him and sending him, sending his products out and really getting him together and working for this little boy. He took his money and invested it. The money, then he put another portion of the money back into the business. He taught at schools and online, and he was doing really good. So then we said, okay, what next? My husband went to New York to help my parents with the house. So he went and he was helping them with the house. He got back, got into a car accident. Really bad concussion. He was out for a while. Then when he did get back to work, he was at work for one day, and then he got COVID. So during that time, it was a whole maybe 2 months of him not working. But remember, I said I went out and I was looking for more forms of income. One of those incomes was I put $100 into the stock market. I was doing my research, and then I got fed up because I'm more of I have to see. So I put $100 into something, and within that week, that $100 gained $8,000. Then I said, oh, this is fun. So I started doing it more and more. I started doing puts and stuff, and I started trading, and I was getting money from it. I was like, this is insane. And it was so quick. What? So I got involved in all these different groups. I started learning more and more about it. I switched over to cryptocurrencies, started learning about that and educating myself about that. Flipped $100 into $36,000. Like, I was doing the most. I went and I taught my mom and dad, my brother about it. And we started doing it. And during that period of time when he was out of work for 2 months, we've never had more money. I mean, everything, as soon as everybody got better, we literally bought a whole new house, bought a whole new couch set. Every house had a brand new bed. Like, we were spending money, and we're like, this is insane, because we wouldn't have been able to do that had we had not explored other forms of income. We would have been screwed in that time period. And keep in mind, my husband's a 6-figure man. We still would have been screwed. So once I started looking at that, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to get more into this finance. I was in school for hospital management, and I switched over to finances. And so I started studying up about this world that I didn't know existed. My parents didn't know it existed, so how can they tell us? And I was just so intrigued. Like, this is crazy. So I started having my parents' friends call me. Everybody's calling me and trying to get into this world and asking me for questions and advice about it. And they started doing good. And it was just an eye-opener at that point. So I started learning about finances and how I can leverage it for us. So then my brother was like, you need to do this insurance adjusting because the money is there. So, is my eye coming off? It feels like it's coming off. Anyway, so I studied. Now keep in mind, my brother studied and did the practice exams and failed every single one. He said, forget it, I'm going to go take the test. And if I pass, I pass. If I don't, I don't. He ended up passing first try. I passed every single practice test with a 90 or above. And when it came down to taking the actual exam, I failed miserably. I was crying. I was devastated. I was like, what? Like, how? How? And at this point, he's making literally good money, like $10,000 or more a week. So I'm like, I want to do that. So at that point, I was just like, I was hurt. I didn't want to take the test again. I didn't want to do any of that. So I said, forget this. I'm going to focus on my other forms of income. So I have 36 books on Amazon that I wrote. I have an eBay store. I have an Etsy store, Walmart store. I work with my son's business. Oh my gosh, I have a faceless YouTube channel, 3 of them, one dealing with death, another one dealing with history, and another one dealing with finance. Um, Jeez, what else did I do? I did anything and everything I could. I even have feet pictures out there. So whatever could bring in an income, I was all for it. Y'all have no idea. I was like, ooh, my feet look good today. Let me go ahead and post these. I said, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. So then I got a job interview for this life insurance company. So I was like, whatever, I'll go. I went and I didn't like it for a couple of reasons. Number one, they only had like really one product that they were selling. And they wanted me to be in the office. I don't need anywhere where I need to be in the office. I have 4 kids. I liked my freedom. I know how to self-regulate myself. I'm grown. I didn't want that. So, but I was interested in the life insurance part if the product was better. So then I got a call from another life insurance company, and they were offering a whole lot more. When I say a whole lot more, you could be illegal, and I can assure you. You could be on your deathbed pretty much, and I can assure you. Retirement, I got you. IULs, I got you. Anything and everything, I can get you. So I really did like that. They had a conference in Colorado, and I wasn't going to go because that's crazy, right? I'm not licensed. It's in Colorado. I'm not sure if this is the step that I want to take. It's a little insane. Well, my husband brought my ticket and said, you should just go. So last minute, I talked to my mentor. He's my mentor now. And told him I was coming. He was super excited. I got there. And when I tell you the love was there, from my second flight, I sat next to a woman who was going to the conference. And she was so sweet. She was amazing. And every single person that I met from that conference was just a beautiful soul. So I went and I learned so much, and I was so excited about the ideas of being able to not only sell them for their end of life, but also things and tools that you can use now. Like I said, I'm a hustler. I am a hustler. So any way to make money now, I'm all about it. I am all about it. Like on my downtime, if I'm not doing anything, I'm door dashing. I'm making some money some way, somehow, whenever I can. I mean, I'm all for it. So I went, and they, of course, announced that I didn't take my test yet, and I'm here. And so when I got back, and it was the day of my test, I got hundreds of messages like, good luck, you got this, I'm rooting for you, just love. And I was in the worst condition I have ever been in my life. I was sick. I was throwing up. I had the runs. I was like the worst condition ever. I mean, when I got to the testing site, I had to have a trash bag by my desk, and I was wearing a diaper because I had the runs. Like, when I tell you I was sick, I have never been sicker. Like, I was like, I have to go to this test. I gotta go. By any means necessary, I have to take this exam. Everybody's waiting for me to pass or fail. Like, when I tell you I had the weight on my shoulders because so many people was like, we got you. You got it. You got this. I'm like, I can't let them down. I can't let my family down. I can't let nobody down. I am so stressed and I'm sick. I have the flu or something going on. And here I am having to go to this test. I literally took the test, and sat there until the time on the clock ran out because I was too scared to click the submit. And I passed. I was so happy. I was so relieved. And believe it or not, I did feel a little better after that. I graduated in finance. I said, I'm ready. So I said I wanted to do things different, though. I wanted to actually help people. I wanted something where I can educate people on the importance of it and what you can do to secure financial freedom for your family while you're alive and when you pass. My goal isn't to sell a policy. My goal is to educate. Whatever you do with that information is what you do with that information. If you want to use it to help your family, by all means, go for it. But if not, then that's okay too. I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to call you over and over to do it. It's your choice. But the education needs to be there. In our community, the education isn't there. In a lot of communities, the education isn't there. And some of the education out there is miseducation. So my goal, especially for this year, is to get out front and say, hey, my name is Geneva, and to educate you. Tell me what you need. Tell me your family's needs, and I can tell you how to achieve and accomplish that goal. When I tell you I leave no stone unturned, that's what I do. Financial freedom for me and for everybody looks different. It looks completely different. So I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. You need to tell me what you want. So I'm just asking to have the conversation. Give me a call. Go on my website. We could do a Zoom. Let's just have the conversation in 2025. That's it. So I think that's it. I think I covered a lot of who I am and who I want to be. So, hopefully this year I can achieve my goal of being in front of the camera a lot more and to check in on people a lot more. I think that's my goal, but we'll see. Bye, y'all.